Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You must be wondering what am I going to present today, right? So if you remember, in the last video I talked to you about formatting your document, that is making your document look more attractive. So here I am with the same topic but some new content for tools of word processor. So without any delay, let's get started. So in this lesson, what are we going to learn? We are going to learn the different types of fonts and the font size option, and you should also be able to use them on your text. Then we are going to realize and see what is the importance of using formatting features. Why do we need them, right? And after that, we are going to study about alignment and the various types of alignment available with MS Word. Then we are also going to study about line spacing and paragraph spacing, and we will also see how we can use them in our document. And in the end, I will post a small link for a quiz which will basically let you find as to how much you have learned from this entire tutorial. Okay, so before I begin, the ones who are new to my channel, let me tell them that this is part 2 of this series of tools of word processor. For part 1, you can visit the link that is given in the description box, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So here I am with the first topic. Now, in front of you, there are two documents, right? On the left side, it says MS Word is word processing software used to type, edit and format the text. And on the right side, it also says MS Word is word processing software used to type, edit and format the text. So now the text is the same, right? It has the same text, but what is the difference between the two? Yes, as you can see that the first text is written in a different way and the second text is written in a different way, right? And yes, the sizes are also different, isn't it? The left side of the document is smaller in size and the right side document is bigger in size. So I think now it's a bit clear that I'm talking about which two topics. Yes, we are going to learn as to what is font and what is font size. So when we talk about font in MS Word, you should know that in word processor we have different fonts. And what is fonts? Fonts is the way the text is written. Alright, and it is similar to handwriting. Just like all of us have different handwritings, similarly MS Word has many fonts. Okay? And how can we set the font? Then for setting the font, what you can do is, you can simply go to the Home tab, which is the default tab in MS Word, and you can see the option of font right here where I am rotating my mouse pointer, right? So it has a small drop down arrow, so you can simply click on it, and once you click, you will get all the different types of fonts available with MS Word. This small scroll bar will help you in seeing or viewing all the fonts that are available with MS Word. Just keep in mind that Calibri body is the default font in MS Word. Okay, so once you select your font from here and then you start typing, then automatically that font style will be applied to your text. Another method of applying is that first you simply type your text without selecting any font, and after that you can simply select your entire text by clicking and dragging method, and then you can come to the font dialog box, that is this. Click on this arrow key and then you can select your desired option from here, and then also you will be able to change the font size. Now there is a small tip attached to it, that is, always remember to choose a font which is clear and easy to read. Do you know why? Because you don't want your audience to be puzzled with what you have written on your document, right? So you want them that they can easily read it and understand it. So that is why always keep in mind to choose the font which is clear and easily readable. Next, we move on to font size. Font size is basically the size of the text in your document. Now, the font size can either be small or large depending on whatever the type of text is. For example, if you have a heading in your document, then probably it would go for a bigger or a larger font. And if it is a normal text, then it should go for a normal type of font. So as you can see, it says that use larger fonts to catch the attention of the reader and for text which are important. So whenever the texts are important, then obviously you will write in a larger font. And if the texts are not so important or it's just a general information, then you can probably give them in a smaller font compared to the important one. Now, how to set the font? So for that, in the home tab, you have the font size button. Like you can see on your screen here, by default, the font size is 11. That is, if you don't change this font size, then you will have to type it in the 11 font size, which is like very, very small. And in order to increase that, you can just click on this downward arrow. This will show you a list of long options. That means a list of long font sizes. And then the maximum font size is 72. And you can also increase the font size later on. But as of now, you can, like in this dialog box, you can only see up till 72. Okay. So if you want to increase the font size, then there are two ways again. First, either you can initially select the font size and then start typing, or you can, after typing, you can simply select your text and then you can change your font size. Okay. Next, we move on to the bold, italic and underline option. Now, these are really very important in a document because the bold option is basically used to highlight your word. Highlight your word means that if you want to make your text look more dark and more important, then you make use of this bold option. The shortcut key for this is Ctrl B. And this is how a bold text looks like, a bit darker, right? Right next to the bold button, you have italicize button, okay, or the italics. So what it does is it basically slants your text. All right, and then slant means this is how your text appears, means tilted towards the right side, a bit tilted. And then the third option that you see here is called as underline option. So underline, as the name says, will basically just draw a line under your text, whatever you have written. So it will just draw a line for that. This brings us to the next topic, that is a tip. So whenever you want to highlight or emphasize on a word or a sentence, you should either use bold, italic or underline. But always keep in mind that you should not use too much of these effects. Why? Because like it becomes very boring, and then it becomes like too attacking on a person who is reading the document. So whichever points are important and whichever points you feel should a person read, make those as bold, italic and underline. Okay. So this brings us to the next topic, that is font color. Now in the beginning you have already seen that I have, or rather in the previous video part 1, you have already seen that I wrote letters in different colors, right? So those are called as font color. Font color means in which color rather your text is written. Okay, so by default it is always black. As you can see, it says black. Automatic color is selected as black, but then you can also change it. So for that, you need to just click on the font color button that is present in the font group of the home tab. Okay, so for that you just need to click on this downward arrow, and once you do that, then you will see various themes colors that you can basically pick for your text. And if let us say that your favorite color is not available in this theme colors, then for that you can simply click on more colors, and from that you can basically pick a color of your choice. Now we have alignment. So what is alignment used for? So alignment basically refers to the positioning of your text on your document. That means if you look right now, all my text is placed towards the left side of my page, right? So that means my document is aligned on the left side. Likewise, you can align your document or align your text in 4 different ways. The first one is left alignment, second one is center alignment, then we have the right alignment and justify. So as you can see in the small picture, it is present under the home tab and in the paragraph group. So there are the 4 alignments present. As you can see from the picture, that the first alignment is the left alignment, which is the default alignment, where all the text is placed towards the left margin. Similarly, the next button is for center alignment, where the text is placed between the left and the right margins. Next, we have the right alignment, which basically helps us to place the entire text towards the right margin of our document. And then in the end, we have justify, which evenly places the text between the left and the right margins. Evenly means at equal distances. So wherever the space would be required for filling in, so this will automatically give those many spaces to make sure that the text is even between the left and the right side of the document. Okay, so now we move on to the next topic, that is line and paragraph spacing. Now, as you can see in this document, that I have written some of the preventive measures to protect yourself from COVID-19. And I'm going to change the line spacing between the lines which I have written. So the bullet points that I have written here, they already have some space, right? So now I'm going to change this space, and I feel that I should add some more space to it. So for that, I can simply select my bullet points by clicking and dragging method. And once I select it, then I simply go on the home tab in the paragraph group. Here the button is for line and paragraph spacing. So you can simply click on this downward arrow, and then here you can see that by default it is 1.15. Okay, and if you want to change it, you can just select any other number. See, as I'm moving my mouse pointer on different numbers, the line spacing is increasing and now it is decreasing. Now apart from that, it has some more options of line spacing. It says line spacing options, that if you want to make or put line spacing which is not here, if you wish to select that, then you will have to click on line spacing option. And it also says add a space before paragraph. That means if your document is suppose having 2 to 3 paragraphs, then you can also add some space between those paragraphs. And if you do not want any space between the paragraph, then you can use remove space after paragraph. Paragraph spacing will be the next topic that I'm going to discuss right after line spacing. So now we come to the last topic of this tutorial, that is paragraph spacing. So paragraph spacing, as the name says, it is the space between the 2 or more paragraphs. For example, in a document you have around 2 to 3 paragraphs written, so the vertical space between those paragraphs is called as paragraph spacing. And just like line spacing, this is also measured in lines or points. So in my next clip, you are going to see how to set paragraph spacing in your document. So now in this clip, as you can see, I have written 2 paragraphs, and these 2 paragraphs are about my channel, that is Interactive Computer Learning. So I'm going to now set the paragraph spacing between the 2. Okay, so for that, what we need to do is, you can first select both the paragraphs like this, click and drag to select both the paragraphs, and then just come to the line and paragraph spacing, and you can just click on this downward arrow and then again, this is by default set to as 1.15, and you can also change the space. So like right now you can see that the line space is being increased because this is for setting the line spacing. For paragraph spacing, you just need to click on this line spacing options. So the moment you will click this, you will see this paragraph dialog box, and from here you can actually set the spacing. See, it says the spacing, the third option, so before and after. So that is how you can just change this value by clicking on this up arrow key. So you can change the value after your paragraph, and this you can click OK, and then you can see that the paragraph spacing between the 2 has changed. Okay, so this is how you can change paragraph spacing in your document. This brings us to the last section of my tutorial, that is quiz. I hope that you all have understood whatever I talked about in this entire tutorial. So now it's time to assess yourself and find out how much you have learned. The link to the quiz is there in the description box. So without wasting a time, just get started.